How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, All Cops Are Bastards, and Trans Rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel. This is The Defenders, Season 1, Episode 6, Ashes, Ashes, which I guess is our Luke Cage title? It's a song, and, I'm sure it has been sampled in rap songs many times. I'm sure it's been done to high heaven, so it's gotta be. That's my guess. What else do I have to say for that? I mean, ashes to ashes, we all fall down. It's like... Well, I mean, actually, didn't that originally start as like a disease thing? So I wonder if it could be on that angle of it. But I think it's more just going to be something literally just burning to ash or something. Like a building burning down. Or, yeah, I guess my guess is just a building burning down to the ground. What building would that be? Could be the Rand building, but that seems like a big stretch. Could just be Matt's house, because Elektra's in it, and I don't know why that would happen, but it's something, I don't know. I don't know. That's my guess. The building's going to burn down. Also, I do want to mention, didn't mention in the last episode, I didn't even register that, like, everybody went to the Harlem Police Department for some reason, specifically. Like, Luke said, like, I know somewhere where we can keep them safe. The Harlem Police Department, which does mean that Matt went from Hell's Kitchen, then, like, got Karen in Hell's Kitchen, told her to go all the way up to Harlem, and when he went then somewhere else in Hell's Kitchen, and let her go up there on her own. Matt made a lot of bad choices last episode. Let's see if they're gonna be better this episode. Alright, we're here to talk about Defenders, Season 1, Episode 6, Ashes, Ashes.
Aw, yeah.
Lot went down in this episode.
Holy moly.
2 big old characters killed off.
Alexandra and Stick felt like, like the big bads of their respective parties. And
Yeah.
now they're gone.
Yeah, both the heads of both organizations
Yeah.
have essentially been taken out. I mean, not really like the Defenders is an
Yeah.
organization, but yeah, both sides have had their leader taken out.
Yeah, ashes, ashes indeed.
So I think like Alexandra's was one that like I could kind of see, not see coming, but was like one where right before it was about to happen, I'm like, okay, this is like, Stick, I'm still on like I don't know if I believe Stick is dead.
Yeah.
I still hold that hope that he's not, but I feel like it is gotta be.
Yeah. When the stuff that Stick drank, I'm like 90-10 on this one, and realistically. 90% of me thinks that was just the antidotes to the incense that he was blowing.
Yeah.
So it's like, take that, then blow the incense, and now it's not going to affect me.
Yeah.
10%, maybe it's some secret immortality juice.
Maybe.
It's possible.
Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't want to believe that Stick. I feel like he's got so much left, but at the same time, also not. Right? Like I can see it going both ways.
Yeah.
Like his character can end here, or he could redeem himself later. But I don't know if he really can after everything he's done.
Yeah.
And like I'm glad I called it. Like where I was talking about. I don't remember if it was very early in this episode or if it was last episode talking about. I think it was when Stick first came in. To this. To Defenders, where I was talking about, like, yeah, I bet his thing was he was trying to kill Danny originally, and now he's like, okay, I'll just kind of, I'll have to just work around not doing that. But no, that was the plan the whole time.
Yeah, I believe you called it at the start of this episode, which was really cool, because, like, the entire episode is him mulling over it and, like, genuinely being really, really, like, divided internally over whether he's going to do this or not.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm glad that, like, it did not feel like a big, like, crazy thing. Like, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, I fully understand why we're at this place. And I'm surprised it's taken him this long to get here. But really, he hasn't been in a place alone with him until now.
Yeah, that and also, like, we've seen him be way softer. Like, we know he has a really soft spot for Elektra. We know he has a soft spot for Matt. And now this is the, like, he does think that if he kills Danny, he might go to Kunlun when he's dead.
Yeah, and it's the difference of, like, he still tried to kill Elektra, he just couldn't do it himself.
Yeah.
Versus, like, the difference is he's willing to do it himself with Danny.
And, like, even then, he's still preparing. He still like does a prayer beforehand. It is the like I buy that this is a big struggle for him. Like that, it isn't a I've been fighting the hand for so long. I'm just completely cold and calculating.
And I do think he knew he was probably going to die in that moment. Like, he probably, even if everything went according to plan, I think he still thinks, I'm probably going to die.
Right.
In some, whether Matt comes after me and kills me, or, whatever. When Luke wakes up, if he's going to come do something.
Yeah.
Like, or maybe not even die, but they're going to turn me over to the hand, and then the hand will kill me or something. Like, I think that he thought, like, this is the end of my bit here.
Yeah.
So, like, that's also why I'm like, I want to believe that he's still alive, but I don't think he is. I think it's specific that we didn't see the body after the, like, moment.
Right.
He, like, gets stabbed, and then we just, like, cut away from it entirely and don't see it again. But, who knows?
Yeah.
Man, the whole, like, this being... The Defenders is way more of the Danny and Luke show than it is, like, the all of them coming together. Like, it is all of them coming together and everything like that.
Yeah.
And they have their plots, but... We were talking about at the beginning of, like, man, I can't believe they're doing this. Now I'm realizing, like, oh, no, I see what they're doing. They're doing our least popular shows are probably Iron Fist and Luke Cage. So we'll have them be the main focus and have them be the main character development and plot relations are tying to their own series and everything like that. So that way, when we come back to Jessica Jones, when we come back to Daredevil, if you didn't see the Defenders, it didn't really affect them that much.
Right.
Like Matt, from the beginning of the Defenders to the end of the Defenders, is going to go on a character arc, but it's not going to be something that is that... It's not going to be that much of a stretch going from Daredevil Season 2 to Daredevil Season 3.
Yeah.
It'd be like, okay, that happened off camera.
And, like, this is the modern age. I imagine they're probably going to format it so that... Like, you can learn all the Elektra stuff pretty easily. Like, someone could just tell you, hey, this happened in the Defenders. Now you can watch Daredevil Season 3 if you really don't want to watch Defenders.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I imagine the Elektra thing is going to be completely wrapped up in here and not carry on.
Okay.
It would be really, really nice if Matt and her could have a nice relationship and everything like that. Like, this... Again, I think the ideal for Matt is leaving behind the lawyer stuff entirely and just focusing on, like, the crime fighting and everything like that, and finding friends and people that support that side of him.
Right.
That's what makes him the most happy. That's how he can help the most people and how he wants to help the most people. And he does the lawyering thing as, like, I like doing this, but it's clearly a secondary to him liking to fight crime.
And I could see Elektra, having lost her memory and now she's a bit of a different person. Like, here, like, as of this episode, it's very clear, like, she's, she is the leader of the Hand, presumably now.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to get pretty intense, but I could see this also being a chance for her to be less of a dark influence on Matt. Like, I don't think Matt will be happy unless he is with people who share his specific line. And it is, like, a very specific line, even amongst the other, like, MCU heroes, of he really doesn't like killing, and there are, like, his idea of who to help and who not to help is, like, yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like he's never happy with anybody fully.
Sure.
He's got to deal with some stuff.
Sure.
Like, there's always going to be people who have different ideals than you and everything like that. As long as they are... like, he was willing to work with Punisher, he was willing to work with Elektra and all this stuff. Like, he is, willing to meet them on a middle ground. I think that is important. Whereas, like, when it comes to his, friends and everything that, he is way more like, I'm not going to stand up and say the thing I want to say. I'm not going to, like, say, oh, you should be doing this way, or, like, this upsets me, or stuff like that. He does that with his superhero friends, but not with his friends.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, man, it's just the stuff with Karen last episode also was just very... wait, no, was that last episode or was this episode? I can't fucking remember. It's all blending together now. But yeah, it's... Man, I had hopes for him and Karen before, but... And him and Foggy and everything, but... I think Defenders is really making it clear to me that, like, they gotta fully separate. They can't do this thing as, like, well, we're still kind of friends, and...
Yeah.
It's Foggy and Karen, like, both of them. They gotta... Matt's got to separate. And it's really sad, but I don't think that Matt can handle it, and I really don't think they can handle it.
Yeah.
They are terrible friends to him. So, yeah, I think, that all that said, I think I would love it if Matt could get together with Elektra and that could
Mm-hmm.
be a healthy relationship now going forward. You know, who
Mhm.
knows what the fuck is going on with Elektra and this whole, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to run the hand organization now. That could be a red herring of, like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying that to get them, like, who knows what's going on there.
It's the ending of the episode. You know it never matters.
It never fucking matters. So, yeah, I would love that. Not gonna happen. She's gonna die tragically, and Matt's gonna get over it. I do think that Matt's gonna kind of just get over it so he doesn't have to deal with it in Daredevil season 3.
Yeah.
I did the quotes from Daredevil instead of get over it, but... yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do. They're like, let's have a clean slate for Daredevil season 3. I feel like Daredevil season 3 is gonna be very on its own, very standalone sort of thing. There's not gonna be stick around.
I will also say right now, because I feel like they're already doing it a little bit. Danny and Luke are like very famously a duo in the comics.
Okay,
Like they have a history.
gotcha.
I didn't say it before because I was like, okay, are they doing it, or are they just like making the occasional like wink towards it?
Mhm.
But I think especially by this point, Defenders, I feel like we're really getting their dynamic more than anything else.
That's really nice because like I thought that was something very original for this, but yeah, I imagine probably not that great in the comics. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I can't imagine they really tackle a lot of the social issues and a lot of the thematic stuff that should be being brought up with the fact that they are a team.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it is the most progressive like comic of the 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it is all
Glad to hear.
social issues.
Okay, I'm very glad to hear that.
Mhm.
I have very little standards for
Yeah.
that sort of very low expectations, not standards, very low expectations for that sort of stuff. So that's very good to hear, honestly.
Mhm.
Very good. Maybe I'll check that out because I
Yeah.
love Danny and Luke's characters, and like I they're not that much different in the comics. Honestly, I probably like Luke way better in the comics because he just feels kind of like they don't really know what to do with him for the show.
Yeah.
Like, I like his character a lot, but he's not super consistent.
Mhm.
It's hard to... Like, his ideals are very consistent. Why he does stuff is very consistent. His goals, his motivations, blah, blah, blah. His personality, like, stuff that he'll laugh at, stuff that he'll complain about, stuff that he'll be angry about or sad about, or... I feel like it's changing constantly, and I never really get a grasp on, like, the personable stuff about him. But, yeah. So, yeah, maybe I'll check those out,
Yeah,
at some point.
I think you might like them.
Yeah, especially if they were out in the 70s and they were that progressive. That's really cool.
But yeah, so, oh boy,
Where were we going? You were just saying that, like, that was a thing in the comics. and-
yeah,
Is that all you were saying? Just like,
Uh,
by the way, that's why they're having the most focus.
yeah. Like additionally, like added on to the, I think those series did the worst of those four, like of the four being teamed up right now.
Yeah.
So I also agree with you there.
Okay.
It makes sense, especially since like
So yeah, it's double fold.
yeah, like Jessica, they're sidelining her because also she's like she's a very like mystery focused detective investigation kind of character, and she's been doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But she is very much like her own separate person, and it would be really weird going into Jessica Jones season 2 if she was like, I did a lot of big superhero stuff, and now I'm fighting bad guys, I'm killing ninjas, and now time to get into presumably like another like long slow burn mystery or something.
Yeah, probably. But no, I mean, to be fair though, Jessica Jones getting into season 2 is already going to be so confusing. We've gotten so much, not conflicting, but just weird information of her across all the series since her season 1.
Right.
So it's gonna be there's a lot that has happened since season 1 that we don't know about even up until Defenders, and then there's all Defenders, and then you're gonna watch season 2. I imagine it's not gonna be that confusing for somebody. It honestly seems like it's more confusing if you've watched all of the stuff. Jessica's storyline is all over the place.
Yeah, I imagine they're just gonna pick one or two like plot points, just say like, yeah, she's been doing this the whole time. Now time for season 2.
I imagine season 2 is going to start with, man, Jessica, it's crazy how you're still not taking any cases. Because that's how this started, and it's like we know that she has been,
Right.
But so I assume it's just going to be more of the just let's just not talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Danny, like Luke, I'm curious how, like, this doesn't really have to come up that much. Like, it's gonna be more of like the just very casually mentioning like the, oh yeah, like that stuff in Defenders. Like you'd say that in character. But Danny, like Iron Fist season 2 is going to be the, you have to have watched Defenders. If you didn't watch Defenders, you cannot watch Iron Fist season 2, I imagine.
Yeah, it's gonna either be like they got two broad choices. It is either the hand is still out there, but I averted them once and now they're on their backup plan, or I got rid of the hand and now what do I do? Luke, I think, I feel like season 2 is going to be the, like, we got rid of the hands, and I thought Shades and Mariah were doing that stuff, but no, they weren't, but now they're definitely doing it. Like, now there's a big old vacuum that they're filling.
And, like, yeah, too, like, you don't have to have watched Luke Cage to get Defenders.
Yeah.
I think, like, it is, Daredevil and Iron Fist, like, the two necessary ones.
Yeah.
Jessica, it's important, I think, to know her character. Like, if you watch Jessica Jones, you would be good on Jessica and Luke.
Yeah.
So, like, Luke Cage is really the one where you really don't even need to have seen Luke Cage. And they sort of recap everything that's important, and none of it's really important. It's just explaining, like, why Luke is invested in this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not relevant in a, like, clue way or anything. So, yeah. All that talk aside, let's talk about the actual episode now.
Yeah.
So Alexandra dying in this episode, I'm actually kind of glad about, because I think she was, she was here. She was very like, okay, this is gonna be it. Like the classic having not only jobbing but also kind of jobbing of like having a character like Gal come in and then bow down to her and it raises her up in her eyes. But then, we're seeing like, well, this is all going to go wrong because of you.
Yeah.
And now there's not that excuse to say anymore. Like, she's kind of fucked up shit already, but now there's not this person where I'm like, well, now I can see why it's all going to go wrong.
Right.
Now it's like, well, now they got people in charge who are very smart. And like, now Elektra's in charge, I guess, technically. Like, but still, like that. Even then, are they just gonna let that happen, or are they gonna say no, fuck you?
Yeah, like I think we're going for before they've all tried to kill each other before. They've all had problems, but fundamentally they don't want to kill each other. Like the others, I think, were letting Alexandra do what she did out of some level of respect, out of some level of we've all been doing this forever.
Yeah.
But
also she was like the leader.
Yeah. And then also, like, she was the one who's so invested into the Black Sky. That makes everything about the Black Sky so much more clear to me, in that I was so confused, like, why did it take so long for them to get a viable Black Sky? Why weren't they putting more resources into it? If it was just her thing this whole time, I get it, because now it's not the entire hand has been trying to do this for generations. It has been Alexandra has been trying to do this, and the others have been running everything else about the hand. Or, like, she's been running other, big stuff as well.
And all the low-levelness of it in Daredevil Season 1 makes sense now.
Yeah,
it's not unbelievable. Like, why was there so many low people barely knew what the fuck was going on?
Yeah, it was a side project up until she was about to die for real.
Yeah.
And then it became if I'm gonna do one thing on this earth, I'm gonna be the mom for the Black Sky.
Yeah. And like, why Stick has this very Alexandra focused rivalry rather than like any other member of the hand.
Yeah.
Like, he's very against the hand and very against Alexandra, but not like, not very personal against everybody there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense with the fact that he is, and why she's so pissed at him when he's just been constantly taking out all her Black Skies.
Yeah.
Whew, so
I also really like the metaphor at the very start of the episode where she's listening to her record and it doesn't sound right, then she checks it and it's been warped.
Yeah.
Like, the idea that she's had this record for so long and it's, starting to degrade and she's also starting to degrade. It's a perfect metaphor.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, everything they've done with her. And, like, having such a huge name actor, just get killed off, like, before the end and not be the big bad. Like, none of our other people here are a bigger actor than Sigourney Weaver. To really like sell a like final villain sort of thing, which says that like they're very confident in the characters of all these characters. That it's like the star power is not selling it; it is the characters that you want to see. And so I think that is, again, I'm glad they have the balls to do that. I appreciate any series that has the balls to kill off a big named actor, character or whatever, because it shows me they don't care just about the money, unless it is something where it's like, well, are you killing this off because they're taking too much of your money?
Because you can't pay him anymore.
But yeah, for something like this, that's an 8-episode thing. Clearly not that.
Yeah.
That's more of a thing for like a movie franchise sort of thing. But yeah, so I commend them for that.
Yeah. In this episode, actually, I really like the parallel between our two factions of there is like one person separated from the rest. Like Alexandra is separated from the rest of the Hand. They're all like, let's just do the Iron Fist thing. Let's just get the Iron Fist. That's how we win. And she's like, no, we gotta use the Black Sky. Meanwhile, Danny is like, he's tied up. He's at a disadvantage. Like, it is the opposite. He's not the one in control.
Yeah.
But his deal is, I want to use the Iron Fist. And everyone else is, we don't know what to do. But we know we can't let you go out there because you're the key to unlock whatever the big bad thing is. So the one thing we can't do is use the Iron Fist.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to talk about. I really like that. It is hard to talk about that sort of like, we can't just go out there and fight them sort of thing because they're not selling it very clearly to me. Like also like the Black Sky being like I'm the leader now, and then they're all probably going to be like, okay, we have to do this because she could kill us, even though I don't believe that.
Yeah.
And so like that's the only issue I have is like the whole talk about like, no, Danny, you can't cut this thing. I truly believe Danny could probably do this all himself. Like they're not that powerful. They don't have any ninjas anymore.
Well, I mean, the reason I'm worried about Danny going out there is not like, it was never that I thought he wouldn't be able to like fight them. It was definitely I'm scared that you need to punch the sarcophagus and then like the mummy will come out and he's gonna go like, oh, I'm gonna kick this mummy's ass. Use the Iron Fist on the sarcophagus.
Yeah, fair.
Like, I definitely feel like, I mean, whatever needs to be unlocked, like, the big dome or whatever, it's gonna get unlocked, and I'm certain that it's going to be Danny is too mad, and he punches it by accident, or he punches it without thinking. Yeah. I can see it so clearly in my head.
It's absolutely gonna happen. I mean, it has to. But yeah, I think the main problem is that, like, they all don't really want to do anything.
Yeah, it is the, like, we don't have a better plan.
Yeah, our plan is just to sit here. Like, there's not really a plan at all. And yeah, it's meh. Yeah, they just need to sell it better, Yeah. And that's my only problem. It's like, I like a lot of the stuff at Avengers, the like, oh, we can't do this. It's something I'm not interested in even talking about because like, they haven't sold it enough, so I'm not invested in it. Yeah. I acknowledge that it's there, and I'm willing to suspend my disbelief, but the more I have to talk about it, the more I can't suspend my disbelief. So I'd rather just gloss over the, like, yeah, we get it.
I think the writers are, like, if there's one big flaw, it is the, like, being bad at moving the characters around. There's not a lot of, like, we need to go to this location for this, like, the big thing is Midland Circle. But this is not, there's no reason why they can't, like, scout it out or, like, do something else. It is just like, we don't know what to do. And that can be realistic in its own way, but it's not that entertaining. Yeah.
And, like, with this, like, oh, we have everybody that you love, like, not like how, like, we know who they are and we could harm them and everything like that, but they don't feel like there's like there's stakes. Yeah. They don't feel like that's happening. They keep bringing it up, but they don't feel like they care about it.
Yeah.
Like, again, they don't have a plan.
It is just, we put them all in this one police precinct.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll be fine.
So, yeah, what else was going on in this episode?
I did also want to mention just the general, like, the Iron Fists can, seal things shut or open them up.
Sure.
Like, it's an interesting take on, making the ability more than just, I channel my fist real good.
Yeah, we'll have to see what that means. Like, I don't know if I put any credence into those word choices until we see it.
Yeah.
I think there's, it's too mystic for me to...
Sure.
I don't know what the fuck that means yet.
We've seen Danny punch open a lot of doors.
Yeah. I don't think that's the same.
Maybe not.
Yeah, like, again, talking about Luke's inconsistency, I think the main thing I don't like about Luke's character is the thing they constantly do with him of he gets on people and is really annoyed when people don't have respect for other people and don't have respect for him and don't have respect for his community
Right.
and stuff like that. But then he constantly turns around and then doesn't have respect for anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's never as a, like, hypocritical thing. It's always done as a funny thing.
Yeah.
And I really don't like that. I hate that.
I can I mean, I know people like that. I've gotten that before, but the way they play it with Luke feels so weird.
I mean, that's the point. Like, they're not making it out like it's a bad thing. They're not making it out like he is, you know, in the wrong here. They're making it out constantly like he's being fun. Like, of course you would be rude to this person. Of course everybody would be rude to Danny.
Yeah. Like, he was supposed to be a net positive that he does, like, you know, calm down for a second and say, like, okay, so what about the dragon? Or, like, you know, he's trying to reach out to Stick a little bit, but it's like, that's not enough.
Yeah, it's always like him being like, oh, fine, I guess I'll try and connect with somebody.
Like, you can't lecture, you know, these teens on the history of Harlem that they don't respect, and then turn around and be like, screw your magic bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you should be a little more open if you want other people to be more open-minded.
Exactly. And, like, I hate it because, like, I'm complaining about it as, like, a Luke character thing, but really I should be complaining about the fucking writers.
Yeah.
Like, it is, you know, the writers just... It's like the, you know, we're going to respect this culture, but then, oh, it's fine to just laugh at Asian cultures, though. That's okay.
Yeah. Also, this is a weird compliment, but I have to respect Mike Coulter, who plays Luke, because I never think about his inconsistency. Like, even in Luke Cage, I rarely thought of it as bad writing, because he sells Luke very well whenever he's playing it.
Yeah.
It is always the, like, I buy it, but then I don't understand it. And it takes me a moment to step back and go, like, oh, right, people are writing this.
That's why I just said, like, I should be complaining about the writers, but
Yeah.
I constantly feel like I'm mad at Luke
Yeah.
because it's such a good, like, yeah, he's very good at selling it.
I never get that
Same
sense.
thing with Matt as well. I feel like so often I'm complaining, I go like, God damn it, Matt, instead of like saying like, oh, this writing is bad, you know, I'm always like yelling at the character.
Yeah.
Also, so the line about like Stick being like, maybe you'll go to Kunlun when you die, that's an interesting line.
Oh, yeah. That
That changes a lot.
That could change the entire universe.
Yeah, like, God, like, if any series where you can have a character that can legit, like, can you go to heaven and then just walk back out?
Oh, man. Because I can so clearly picture in my head, like, Danny dying, and then him coming back and just being like, yeah, I went to Kunlun because I'm a good person when I died. Or, like, you could...
Yeah. Like, you age in Kunlun, but I wonder if it is you could be immortal in Kunlun.
Yeah.
Like, again, there is the Undying Shao-Lao, or Shao-Lao the Undying. Yeah, I mean, it is called Heaven. It's called one of the 9 cities of heaven, right?
Yeah, that's all. They've always kept it a little ambiguous as to, like, is this heaven, or do they just mean, like, it's very high up?
Yeah, like,
But
it's...
Like, that line really sells me on at the very least, you know, Stick believes this.
Yeah, and yeah, that's also the thing is like, does Stick just believe? Like, does he not know, or like, you know, does he? What's going on in his mind? I don't know.
Man, Matt is gonna lose his mind if he's like, oh right, I'm deeply Catholic, but I do know that if my friend here dies, he goes to Kunlun and not heaven.
Well, it's only one of the 9 heavens. There's other heavens. You got Catholic heaven up there too.
It's me, Catholic God. I'm in Catholic heaven. But big potential cosmic implications.
Yeah. Seriously. Where do we go from there? Like,
I mean, that also, like, colors the, like, we see the divide more so in the Hand now, in that we know for a fact now, Alexandra, you know, is separate from the others. The others all just want to get back to Kunlun. Everything they've been doing, like, you know, they want power and whatnot, but they also fundamentally want to go to Kunlun.
Yeah. And, like, it is this, like, if we die, then we're gonna go to hell.
Yeah,
Like,
or
they all believe that fully.
yeah, or not even hell. Like,
Well, no, right. It's
just the endless
the
black.
like, yeah, the nothingness.
Yeah,
But, like, is that because of the thing? Like, I think they're implying that if you die normally, you go to Kunlun. If you die, but you have done this immortal stuff, you don't get to go to heaven.
yeah,
Which I think we talked about before. I think we talked about that when Harold first brought that up, actually.
yeah.
But yeah, I think this doesn't confirm it, but it's definitely super implying it now.
because like they are the only characters who would know for sure,
Mm-hmm.
because they have categorically died. It's not even the when you die, DMT is released in your brain and you trip out.
Yeah.
It's a fundamental. They have actually died. They have seen nothing, and they believe at the very least that if they die, they're meant to be in Kunlun. Or, at the very least, they die. It's not supposed to be pure black, but it is pure black. It's terrifying.
Yeah, and again, like Kunlun is a big place. It's a lot of stuff. Who knows if there's a mortal aspect of it, and also an after realm aspect of it, or who knows what's going on? Because again, there's clearly aging. Then there's clearly like it would have to be we just live our lives in Kunlun, then we die, then we come back in Kunlun, or why do they want to go back to Kunlun?
Yeah.
Like, is there something more so than just their cultural heritage?
Yeah, because they also Gao has described it as being extremely nice. She remembers
that's
the
what I
tree,
mean.
but it isn't like a eternal paradise situation.
That's what I'm curious about. Like, is there an eternal paradise sort of aspect to it? Like, or just like in the sense that it is calming and nice, and like maybe not paradise specifically, but close to it.
Yeah, because I mean, if we believe
But
that
Danny knew about the tree too.
Yeah.
So I mean, she hadn't died and gone to that part anyway. So
yeah, it could be a two-stage. Like you can be alive in Kunlun and you can have died and gone to Kunlun.
yeah, it's like who knows if there is a separation of like, can you see the people who are dead and alive at the same time, or are those two separate like realm, like planes of existence?
Yeah,
but on the same physical location.
we could go into the weeds.
So
with it.
much.
Yeah.
We could guess about with that. I want to get some fucking visuals.
Oh yeah.
Give me the visuals.
They've of course done the classic, TV thing of we can show you a little bit of this. We can show you a couple hallways. We can show you a training room, but we can't show you the whole thing. You gotta just think about it.
I would want a shot like Adelan on the moon.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. We've gotten like a big handout shot of Kunlun and stuff like that, but I want a little bit of a closer shot.
Yeah.
Like I want to see what it really looks like.
Yeah, like if they make a miniature or something, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, make a miniature, put some CGI people in it. I don't care how bad it looks. I just want to see it. I want to get a visualization of it. I truly don't care how bad it looks.
When Alexandra describes the Black Sky, she says, I'm not talking about her abilities. She has a strength that you and I can only imagine. What do you think she is talking about there?
I think it has to be the will sort of thing. But again, they're not selling. There's a lot of lines in this that are lines, but they're not shown.
Yeah, because I am very mixed about the Black Sky. Like, they're going to have to really, really sell us in these last two episodes.
I'm done. They can't. No matter what they do, I've had 6 episodes of her being normal.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they can sell me on the Black Sky at this point. The Black Sky's lame. They've built it up far too much, and then had it be the lamest thing.
Yeah. Speaking of, actually, I really, really hope we see the other members of the Hand do some chi stuff.
Yes, please.
Because right now it feels like just a continuity thing that Gao can do the push. It
doesn't feel like she's...
Yeah, like the implication is definitely supposed to be they're all like as strong as Gao in some way or another. But we didn't see any of that, like even from Sawande. Yeah. So it is really like, I don't believe that anyone besides Gao is powerful.
And again, we've done this like, is Gao looking that old because she does blasts and so she's using up ki, whereas the other ones aren't. But it's like, that doesn't seem like it's the case.
Yeah.
Because then what about like the what's his name? It's been so long since we recorded. Murakami, yeah. Yeah, he seems like he uses chi to like fight bears and stuff barehanded and everything.
Yeah, like he's always at the brink of death every time.
Yeah. So I don't know what's up with the chi and the aging and the why she is aging more so than they're aging and the running out of the juice. And the juice stuff, I would like some clarification.
Like, I'm the kind of person who's completely fine with implying a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's certain times where you have to do the thing. You can only let stuff hang there for so long before you have to show at least a little concrete evidence to be like, okay, here's your taste of it. Now we're gonna go back to not showing it, but we did like prove this.
Yeah, we gave you the proof of concept.
Yeah. Murakami, especially in this episode, felt like none of them are good people, but Murakami had so much like shonen protagonist energy to me.
Yeah.
With the like confronting Alexandra and then outright saying I'm going to kill you now, and with like he didn't poison the food or anything. He was just like I'm gonna fight you to death right now.
Yeah, right here.
And the whole like I was I wanted to leave, but I didn't want to leave Kunlun with you, and that's been my gripe this whole time.
I don't know if it feels like a shonen protagonist. I feel like it does feel like a shonen villain, actually.
Okay.
Like the villain that fights other villains. Not an anti-hero, but...
I think it's also just the very, like, he's the one who speaks his mind the most. Like, when Swan Day is dead, all of them are, like, all of the non-Alexandra ones are upset by it, but he's the one who is yelling, like, screw you, Swan Day died, we said he was gonna die, we could have saved him, you told us not to!
Yeah.
Like, they're backing him up, and, like, Gao is, playing the long game as always, but Murakami's so willing to just say it.
I really appreciate it too. Because they were setting up a Bakudo for being that, but then now he's kind of been like he knows his place.
Yeah.
And I think that's how he's got away with so much. Like, he knows his place. And also, I don't think they're going to do fucking anything with the shit in Iron Fist with Bakudo. Like, the fact that he has all this money and everything. Like,
right.
There's a lot that was going on that they just kind of dropped as, like, a thing. But, whatever.
As of right now, I feel like Bakudo and Gao are going to survive the season.
Okay. You think Bakudo's going to, like...
Yeah. I think he...
Gao, too, really. I think Gao is the final villain. Like, Elektra is too, but I think Gao is going to be the, like, we're going into the final episode going to fight Elektra, but really it's going to be we have to fight Gao. Like, Elektra we're able to save a little bit, but then she gets killed by Gao, and then we gotta fight Gao. That's my guess.
My prediction is Murakami dies to the heroes, like, he goes out in a blaze of glory. Bakudo, like... steal some more money or something, like he's skedaddles.
Money.
I think he's gonna do a big skedaddle. He's gonna do I'm gonna do another hand. See ya, guys. Gao is going to be cautious, but still be by Elektra's side. Elektra is going to die at the end of the season. Like, I think she'll be the final boss, and then Gao is going to skedaddle at the very end. Like, I feel like she's going to be the potential like Iron Fist / Daredevil season 3 enemy in the shadows. Actually, no. I feel like we've fully moved on to Kingpin for Daredevil.
Yeah.
So, there's no reason why she can't die. Like, I can definitely see your prediction. I can definitely see her being the final boss here, because that would be the real... Like, that would feel good as okay, I believe we have fought the hands successfully if she goes out.
I think we got to.
I don't trust that they have have enough faith to kill off Gao here. I feel like they're going to keep her in the back pocket just as they, like, we know people like Gao as a villain, so we're just going to keep her off to the side. We can't kill her off.
Yeah, but I don't know. I really hope they do. Really hope they do.
I would like if they did. And then, no matter what, I fully believe Bakudo's gonna survive, and he's gonna do another startup.
Oh, I don't want it! It's not a startup!
I made an app that turns you into a ninja.
And again, what about all the ninja that are... what about all the hand that are in... We know where they work. We know what their jobs are and their careers. And it's not like they're, they don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. What are we doing about that? What are we doing about this shit?
Just as, like, another Alexandra thoughts.
Yeah.
I like her line about, like, talking about how, sometimes the organism kills itself as a, like, it's not just that she's out of immortality juice, but it is a, like, there's a limit that she has gone just so far beyond that her body can't help but kill itself.
Yeah.
Like, it really sells it to me as a, like, I don't think, like, clearly she's selling the other members of the hand on this as, we're gonna get more immortality juice. But that moment really sold it to me as a, like, she knows she's gonna die. Like, she has fully accepted Elektra as her daughter, and, she is now, she has brought the Black Sky into this world, and now she just wants to have a successor.
Just, the legacy.
Which is then, completely against what the other members of the hand are all about.
Yeah.
Like, that is, the other way to, continue living on in this world, is to have a successor. Whereas the others are all very clearly like, no, I don't want a successor. Yeah, I want me to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, I really appreciate that. It's, it's poignant.
Yeah. It gives more breath to her character before she dies.
She was a good character.
Yeah.
very, she gave us everything she had to offer.
Yeah. I really appreciate the interplay with Jessica and Matt this episode. Like, with Jessica, like, when Matt does the, hey, but I know about Midland Circle, or Stick is the one who brings it up.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Midland Circle. I checked it out. I don't think there's a hole down there. I checked it out with my
I
powers.
don't think there's a hole.
And everyone's like, Matt, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
I can't believe Matt going, I don't think there's a hole down there anymore. What do you mean, Matt? There's no reason for him to think that. I don't think that.
We all teamed up there. We all fought there. And you never told us there's a giant hole. You were there. What do you mean you didn't tell us because of Elektra? Like, that's such pertinent information. I'm really glad that it wasn't a he told them about it off screen situation. That it was a he didn't tell them about it and everyone reacts appropriately to it.
Like, what the fuck? And there's so much stuff like, well, you didn't say this. And it's like, it is so relevant. And everything else he brings up, like, well, nobody else is saying this stuff. It's like, Matt, come on.
I really appreciate that. That is, like, paid off with Jessica then, like, doxing him to the daughter of the architect. And it's so casual. It's not hateful or anything. She does bring it up in a way to help that girl feel better. It is the I know a friend who went through all of this, and just as a side thing, she's letting Matt know, yeah, I looked up stuff on you because I can't trust you to tell me if anything's important.
Yeah, and it's like, he's already done all the research on her as a lawyer, so it's like, it's not even that, big of a, you know my whole life story, I should get to know your whole life story.
Yeah. If you don't fess up, and, like, it's not like she shook down anyone or anything, this is all publicly available knowledge.
Yeah.
She just pieced it together. I lost my mind at the, well, that's the problem, Matt, I'm all out of calm.
Oh, so cheesy, so bad.
It is, of course, a obvious play on that's my secret cap. I'm always angry.
Yeah, I mean, no shit.
It is so, like, they wanted to do the Avengers thing.
Yeah, like, that was the most.
Like, the Defenders hasn't really done a lot of, we're gonna do a reference to the, the movie team-up thing. Except for that. That was so weirdly, like, it felt like the writers were like, well, we have to do this.
Yeah. Oh, man. So weird. So weird. What a bad choice. Bad choice. That is good. Like, that's the kind of thing where it's like, your whole show could be a 10 out of 10. That line exists, and people are just going to clip that line, and everybody's like, wow, well, this seems like a terrible show.
Yeah. I'm also formally putting down the torch I've held all this time, that every single time we have brought up a Luke ship, I have said, I still holding out hope for Jessica and Luke. Now that they have both said it, now that specifically they have not been in touch at all, I'm willing to accept, you know what, it's probably not going to happen. I'm fine with it. It's,
honestly, I'm glad they're not good for each other, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like, I used to think so, but there's a lot of I don't like about Claire now after Iron Fist, but I still think that she's probably the best fit for him.
I liked them in Jessica Jones, which, no shit, that was the ship in Jessica Jones. But now I'm fully down with it. I'm still not super happy with Claire. I feel like we could do something better, but, if they're happy together, it's cool. Yeah. Jessica, I think, is not ready to be in a relationship. She needs
she needs a couple years.
Yeah, like, even Jessica Jones Season 2, I think, shouldn't have a full relationship in it. Like, there's a lot of healing she needs to do. She's very traumatized.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, and I'm glad that we're not doing she's immediately rebounding onto Malcolm or something else. Like, they've kept it as, she is very, very hurt, and she's still working through stuff.
Yeah. And I like that, yeah. She is doing her own shit.
Speaking of working through stuff, I was also, I was as, like, disoriented as you were when we got the Elektra and Matt flashback.
Oh, yeah.
But it is very, like, is this happening? Does he know about her? What is going... I'm not a big fan of that in a lot of series, but I really appreciated the way they did it. Because on a rewatch, it is, you can completely buy it as a flashback. They don't do things where they're clearly trying to make it feel super...
Like, that's the thing. Of, like, during your watching it, you're going, like, this has to be a flashback. But what if it's not?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're, like, questioning, like, is it... I kept going, like, I don't know if this is a flashback or if they want me to believe this is a flashback and they're going to do a twist.
Right, Yeah, I think that's a lot better than the we're going to pretend this is a flashback and then like filter cut into no, this is all really happening.
Yeah.
Because that's disorienting in a much more weird way, whereas this makes the viewer doubt themselves.
Yeah, it makes you think more rather than just like the other one's just you're on a track. You're just going where the director wants you to go.
I cannot get over. I mean, again, very consistent with his character, but I could not get over Luke being like, "That's a homicide. You're not going to report that. You're going to hide the body."
Luke.
Like specifically the like him being so offended at the idea of hiding the body of this person. It's like, what do you want him to do, Luke?
I know, it's unbelievable. Like, this is a man who has been a warlord for 1,000 years. You could argue he might be worse than Hitler.
Yeah.
You know? This guy's been around for 1,000 years, Luke, as a warlord.
A lot of atrocities to pile up.
That's terrible. And you're like, this is a homicide.
Stick does not need to go have justice be served for Sowande.
No,
He does not have
he
to go.
does not. We don't need to put Sowande. We don't need to put 1,000-year-old war criminals in a prison.
I 100% thought we were going to get a scene where, like, Luke was going to bring Stick to the precinct that Misty's at and be like, hey, you gotta book him. He decapitated this 1,000-year-old African warlord.
Luke is on another level of just inconsistent morality. Fucking buckle. But I just that whole scene is so. Who wrote that? How did this get past so many levels? My lord.
The other thing that really shook me as being weird writing was when Matt made the joke about how sometimes he puts on the Daredevil suit and he shakes down the other tenants.
Oh yeah, that was
like it's a joke, but
it's better than a joke.
It better been a joke.
I would believe that Matt would have done that before, whereas I think that's changed now.
Yeah. I appreciate that he is still, like, he's been consistently really weird and awkward around the other defenders. Like, he tries to act with Jessica, especially the way he acts with Foggy.
Yeah.
Where when he talks to Foggy, I feel like Foggy should slap him every once in a while.
Seriously.
But when he's doing that with someone who isn't Foggy, it's 10 times worse. It is like, I can't believe you said that. What is wrong with you?
Like, I was so happy that Jessica's reaction was the same as mine of like,
yeah.
What the fuck, man? I sure hope that was a joke. Why would you even say that? He is so bad at talking to people.
Yeah.
Like, he says stuff that I truly don't believe that he believes or thinks or even thinks is fun. Like, he's just like so like, this is what people joke about, right?
Like, that just hit me as a, like, I can't believe they had this character say this. Even, accepting it as a cringy, weird, stupid joke, it is still on this other level of, I can't believe they, like, people are going to clip Daredevil saying this. It's so whack.
It honestly, I get a little bit of vibes of, like, Sawyer from Lost with it.
Okay.
Of, like, even if he's saying it as a joke, it's not even that he's saying it as, like, I think this is a joke. He's saying it as, I'm saying this as a joke, and I realize that even me saying it as a joke is going to make people hate me, and I want that little...
I can see that.
Matt's whole character is wearing the fucking hair shirt constantly.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think even in small interactions, he's trying to do this, like... I said something that made her pity me a little bit, so now I have to throw in another line that counters that pity.
It is the toxic Catholic guilt.
Yeah. Like, that's like, because he brings it up after the, like, oh, this is, like, this is a bad place to live, but it's actually really better for me. And then he has to follow it up with, oh, but no, don't worry, I'm still a bad person. It felt very mad. Last thing we should talk about, I guess, is the circle. Like, I guess I'll buy that Matt just knows that there's no circle there. There's no hole anymore. I just said the circle, I meant the hole. There's no hole anymore. Again, he can hear stuff inside of a locked box, like inside a closed box before Before there was a drip in the room,
Right.
and I was like, okay, so the sound of the drip ripples throughout the room, hits the box, and then goes through the box, and you can kind of hear what's inside it.
Right, it's-
somehow.
Sure.
This was not that at all. This was a closed box. There's nothing. There's no vibrations that would have been. I mean, maybe they're talking, I guess.
Yeah, like everything
then-
makes vibrations on some level.
Yeah, but then it's like then why was it the drip in season 1? I think
Yeah.
it's season 2, but it's season 1. Why was it the drip if they weren't implying that the drip was the sound effect? Because he was talking to the
Right.
Russian guy. Don't remember his name.
I also feel like that's a bit like being able to do it just through a conversation in the background is so overpowered.
Yeah,
like
it's too just he has X-ray vision now.
yeah, like the classic Daredevil move is he doesn't know what's happening, so he like takes his cane and like smacks the wall or smacks the floor.
Yes, something,
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah,
I want something. Do something. Don't just know always.
Yeah, and it's weird because that's also very cinematic.
Yeah.
Like if it was a, I don't know what's going on, so he gets up and, just like pretends to slap the wall or, he pretends to trip or something. Like, I don't know why they would remove a thing that the character can do physically to give them more agency.
Yeah.
It makes him feel too psychic.
Exactly. It's confusing. Every time I have to go, how the fuck, oh right, I guess he could just do that,
Yeah. Like I like the the rest of the scene. Like I like the idea of him knowing that there's something in there, and then he has to come up with this this like he has to take the conversation into the direction of the piano, so then he can play it and then go like, oh, there's something in here. But
yeah,
the lead into it is so not a thing because we have no visual cue for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many easy things that could happen. Even if that's not even like it have to be like the stick thing to make a sound to hear in the box. Could have been something accidentally falls on the piano, or somebody rests their hand on the piano as they're walking by it or something,
Yeah.
and then you could hear it through that or something. Like, yeah, it's weird. And then it's like, who was the guy expecting somebody to find this shit, and then who was he expecting to find it then?
Yeah. Like, I really like the scene with the mom who lost all 3 of her kids, because that was a clear, like, her last kid led Luke to this in a way that no one would actually understand. That was really well done.
Extremely.
Whereas this doesn't have any breadcrumbs to it.
And like, yeah, that wasn't even a like, I left a clue for Luke. It was that kid in the moment going, hold on a second, okay, I got this. There's a fucking thing in my lotto box that has Midland Circle on it. Like, that's the only thing I can do here. Like, that was just a pure coincidence. In the moment, he realized, like, I can pull something off here.
Yeah.
And he didn't even think about that until after he had, knew he was gonna die.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's so much more interesting than like this thing with the piano, which was so just like, all right, I guess Matt could just do that. So anyway, we can assume that the hole isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Because Matt has magic.
I sure hope so.
What does that mean? Why build a giant hole and then fill it right back up? What was the quote? 30 stories deep in a perfect dome.
Yeah.
Also, the picture they showed did not look like that to me.
No, the picture looked like the tunnel down, if anything.
Yeah.
Like, it was very straight, but then one side was very craggy. So, yeah.
I don't know. Didn't get that quote because I didn't see that. But I don't have any guesses. Do you have any guesses? I truly don't got anything.
I don't really. Like, I'm guessing that whatever is sealed that only the Iron Fist can open, it was... I guess the question is, why do they have to dig there? Like, how was this, whatever this is, why was this put there in the first place? Or how? Because, I mean...
Yeah, Kunlun definitely put it there, but why?
Yeah. I mean, this also goes back to the, like, what happens to Kunlun? Because, like, if they made themselves disappear, I mean...
And that was also so recent, it couldn't have been the plan the whole... Like, what the hand was
Yeah.
doing this whole time.
But, like, could they have just, like, teleported something down there, or...
But again, why were they doing that in the first place? Why was the hand doing that in the first place?
Right, it's...
Because that would have been before that.
Yeah. Oh, boy. The only thing I have that relates to this is we know the architect had explosives. So I'm guessing either he was planning on blowing up the dome or he was planning on blowing up Midland Circle, but because if it's filled up, then like I was imagining it as we blow up Midland Circle, it goes down and then it, covers up whatever the hand wants and now they can't get it. But that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it's already filled
it's
up.
already filled up, yeah.
So my guess right now is he had a plan to blow up the dome. And
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, like maybe they have an elevator that goes down there or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got no guesses as to what the fuck the dome could be. Like, other than just, like, I'd be like, yeah, the generic, like, oh, it's something connected to the Iron Fist, but, like, I don't have a specific guess. Not anything I haven't already said.
It's where all the extra immortality fluid is stored, maybe.
It's the immortality pool.
Yeah.
All right. We
Yeah,
done?
That's all I got. I think it's really funny when Alexandra says Baka.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. See you guys for the next one.
Mhm.
Until then,
Get the fuck outta here.